Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today I will be doing my October TBR, which will be including both Supernaturalathon, which is my readathon, and also the Ace race, and then a couple of extra books as well. I am thinking about taking part in Horrorathon, but that is a week-long readathon towards the end of the month, so if I do decide to take part in that, it will be based upon how well I do with my own TBR, what's left, and things like that. So I'll do a separate video for that one if I do decide to take part in it. But let's get into this because it's a reasonably sized TBR. I have managed to combine some of my Supernaturalathon books with the Ace race, which is awesome. So yeah, I am looking forward to getting into this. I'm so excited for October. It is spooky season, and I'm just so excited to be doing the Supernaturalathon again as well. This is the second year running now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave the links to everything down below. We've got Twitter, Instagram. I will leave a link to my announcement video as well. And we also have a Discord channel, so I'll leave a link to everything down below if you want to go and check it out. It's a readathon basically based on Supernatural. There are 15 prompts and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. We're going to be doing reading sprints. We've got a 24 and 48 hour readathon lined up, and I have got a Instagram photo challenge as well. So a whole lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get into what I'm planning on reading for Supernaturalathon. So the first prompt is Devil's Trap, which is to have a symbol on the cover, and for that I'm going to pick up an arc that has been sent to me by the author, and that is The Wolf and the Water by Josie Jaffrey. Thank you to Josie for sending me a copy of this. Josie is an indie author and it's different to anything she's done before. There aren't vampires in here. I think this is to do with werewolves this time. And it's set in the ancient city of Kepos, which is an isolated valley cut off from the outside world by a towering wall. Behind it there are souls of the dead, clamour for release, or so the priesthood says. So I'm not sure where this is going to go, but for me I'm going to say that this is a symbol on the cover, the wolf. She has done some pins as well, so I'm hoping to get my hands on one of those. But yeah, very excited. This comes out on the 8th of October. I just got my sticky note in there, and she has also signed this for me as well. It just says, Steph, thank you for reading and reviewing, Josie. So I want to get to this pretty early on in the month, obviously, get it reviewed for the 8th of October. So keep your eyes open for that over on my Instagram. There's a link down below if you want to go and check my Instagram out, but I will be reviewing it over on there. So very excited to get to that one. The second prompt is All Hell Breaks Loose Part 2, and this is to read a book with a supernatural being in it. I'm going to go for The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. So this is about Tana, who lives in a world where walled cities called cold towns exist. In them, quarantine monsters and humans live together. So I am going to be buddy reading this with Rocket Dino, who is one of the girls who's taking part in my readathon. So very excited to fit this on. I saw this in somebody's video recently. I can't remember whose it was, but I know for certain. I don't know for certain, I'm totally lying. I don't know who it is that I've seen reading this, but it was a while ago. It could have been Kayla from Books and Lala, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I've seen it again recently doing the rounds, and it's been on my radar for a while, but I ummed and ahed, didn't bother picking it up, but now I have it, so here we are. Maybe it might join my Holly Black shelf, maybe it might get on hold when I've read it. We'll see how I like it, but I'm looking forward to picking this up, and yeah, excited to do that. Prompt number 3 is Mystery Spot, which is a reread. So for this one I am going for Serpent and Dove by Shelby McEwen. This was on my September TBR and I never got around to it, so I am pushing it into October. I am really excited about rereading this one. The reason why I'm rereading it is because this is the Fairy Loot special edition. It's because Blood and Honey came out in September. I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet. I am hoping to get my special edition Blood and Honey box from Fairy Loot in the month of October, but if it doesn't come through, I know I can get the audio for Blood and Honey. But I really want to reread Serpent and Dove first before I pick Blood and Honey up, because it's been a year since I read this, so I want a refresher. I know exactly what's going on in this, but I just want a bit of a refresher. So we're following Louise LeBlanc and Reed Diggory. Louise is a witch, Reed is a witch hunter, and these two have to marry. It is a marriage of convenience, and Reed has no idea that Louise is a witch. and I'm so here for it. So very excited about this one indeed. Can't wait to reread that one. Prompt number 4 is Yellow Fever. So for this one you need to read a comedy horror / comedy thriller. So I'm going for Horror Store by Grady Hendricks. This was gifted to me by my lovely friend Nicole last year for my birthday, so I'm so excited to pick this up. I've been saving it for spooky month, so I'm really looking forward to picking this up. This is set out like an IKEA magazine essentially, and there is like different furniture and, you know, like a employee evaluations thing, but it's set in a shop called Orsk instead, and basically there are some strange goings on. Employees have noticed things have been moved in the night when the shop has been shut, so a few of them decide that they're going to camp out in the shop and find out what's going on, and I believe there are some spooky goings on. So I'm very excited about this one. I think this is going to be one, I am a scaredy cat, so this might be one I have to read in the day. It would be perfect for reading at night, but I'm just not, I don't think I'm brave enough. We'll see. Number 5 is changing channels, and that is to read a book to movie adaptation or book to TV adaptation. So for this one I am going for Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I know this seems really weird to throw on here because everything else has been relatively spooky or paranormal / supernatural-esque, and this is not. It's contemporary. The reason I'm chucking this on here is because it is my book pick for Contemporary Book Club in the month of October. Contemporary Book Club is my book club. If you didn't know, again, I will leave links to everything down below. But yeah, this is the book that we're reading for October, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up. I don't read classics normally, but I do have a bunch that I want to try and get to, so this is like one that I really want to get to. I watched the movie adaptation last year, the new one, and loved it. I obviously went into it completely blind. I knew nothing about Little Women, and I absolutely loved it, so I'm so excited to read this. Cannot wait to pick it up. I love this edition as well. The cover's absolutely gorgeous and the text is massive in it, which is great because a lot of classics have like really condensed text, so I'm really glad that this has big text in it. Very excited to pick that one up. Prompt number 6 is The French Mistake, and for this one I want you to read a sci-fi, which sounds very odd for a supernatural readathon, but I explained why in my announcement video, so if you want the reason why, go and check the announcement video out. And for this one I'm picking up A Phoenix First Must Burn, which is edited by Patrice Caldwell. This is an anthology of black girl magic, resistance and hope, and I am so here for this. I believe this is going to be queer, and it's going to be about the black experience, black women, gender non-conforming individuals through folk tales, futuristic societies and everything in between, and I'm so excited for it. It's got witches and scientists, sisters and lovers, priestesses and rebels. The heroines of A Phoenix First Must Burn shine brightly. You will never forget them. And some of the authors written in here you will recognise the names of: Elizabeth Acevedo, Danielle Clayton, Samaya Dowd, Ibby's a boy. There's so many authors in here and I'm so excited. And in the back there is some information about all the contributors as well, with a picture of them, and then just some information about each of the authors that have got involved in this. Very excited to pick this one up. I've heard really good things, and I know Jade was reading this in September, so I'm really excited to find out what she thought about this one. Prompt number 7, we're on death's door. We're knocking. We're knocking. For this one I want you to read a sad book. So for me a sad book is going to be Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the 3rd and final book in the David trilogy, and I have been loving this trilogy. Was not expecting to at all. I've been reading this, I read the first one, City of Brass, on my own, but partway through reading this I realised that my friend Catherine was reading it as well, so we decided to buddy up. We discussed the City of Brass. I get that wrong every single time. We discussed the City of Brass, and then we went straight into the Kingdom of Copper. I keep getting these so mixed up. The Kingdom of Copper, we went straight into that, and it took me ages to get through it. Catherine flew through it. It took me ages to get through, only because I'd read them back to back, and they're so chunky and there's a lot of information in them. So, but I love this series so much, and I cannot wait to finish this series off, but I'm going to be really sad about it. I just know it, really sad, but I can't wait to do so. It is a chunker, but I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, buddy reading this with my friend Catherine. We haven't picked a date for this yet, but I'm going to assume it's going to be at some point throughout the month, because that's usually how these things work. Prompt number 8 is LARP and the Real Girl, and this one is to read a queer fantasy, and I am so excited about picking this book up. I'm picking up Vicious by Ve Schwab. This was gifted to me by my lovely friend Bev, and I'm so excited about picking this one up. I have been wanting to read this series for so long. I've had Vengeful on my TBR for the longest time, not realising that it was the second book in a series, and now I have Vicious. Thank you so much, Bev, for sending me this. I am really looking forward to picking this up. This is about two friends who push the limits of they push themselves to the brink of death essentially, and eventually give themselves powers. And then we jump forward 10 years in time. One of the friends ended up in prison, and he has now broken out, and these two are enemies, and I'm not sure where this is going to go, but these two have powers, and I believe this is queer as well, and I'm very here for it. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to pick this up. I'm hyped for it. Next is Dog Dean Afternoon, and I wanted you to read a book with an animal on the cover. It could have been an animal name in the title. It could have been an actual animal on the cover. Whichever way you wanted to do this, bend these to your will. And for this one, I am going for My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendricks. There is an owl here. There are some birds, crows and stuff around here, so there's like a couple different animals on here. So this is what I'm picking up for this. I'm really excited. I believe this is like is it a 1980s or 1990s? I don't know, but it's like we're thrown back a little bit, and I'm really excited about it. And it's about two friends. One of them's acting up and she needs an exorcism or something. Don't really know, but I'm excited about picking this up. I have heard really good things, and I'm just so here for being entertained with some horror as well. This is like another comedy horror, so I'm really hyped for this. I'm so excited. Just hope it doesn't freak me out too much. It might be another one I have to read in the day, but I'm really looking forward to it. It looks good. Number 10 is to read a fanfic book. So this is a book that features fan fiction, or as I've looked into this after I've done the prompts, it was very difficult for me to decide on a book for this, or a book that started out as fan fiction and has now been published. So for me, I am going to go for Pucked by Helena Hunting. I believe this was a Bella Swan fanfic originally, and it has now been published, and I'm really excited about it. I've heard really good things, and I've had the audio on my book on my book. No, I haven't. I've had the audio on my phone for the longest time, so I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. But I'm also going to pick another one up which I found out about after I picked Pucked, but I really want to read this one as well, and I kind of wish I knew about it before I announced the readathon, because I probably would have picked this as the buddy read for Supernaturalathon. But also read Point Pleasant, which is by Jen Archer Wood. I believe that this is a supernatural fanfic that's been published, so I'm so fucking here for this, and I really wish I'd known about this before we picked the buddy read, because I'd have definitely picked this. This is following Ben Wiseheart, who grew up in an idyllic town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. An early encounter with supernatural shaped his worldview and served as catalyst for his career as a best-selling horror writer. 13 years after abandoning his home, Ben returns to the town to investigate an apparent re-emergence of the terrifying creature responsible for his childhood nightmares. In Point Pleasant, Ben is confronted not only by the town's resident monster, the Mothman, but also his former best friend, Sheriff Nicholas Nolan. Together, Ben and Nick uncover the mystery of the monster in the woods and discover that the ghosts that haunted us are sometimes made of flesh and blood. I believe it's queer, so I'm assuming it's going to be a Dean Cass fanfic, because that's where everybody's minds go to when they're thinking of supernatural fanfic, apparently. So yeah, I'm going to read that as well, because you know, I love a challenge. But my book for that one is actually Pucked, but I want to read them both, so yeah. Number 10 is Baby. So you need to read a book with a vehicle on the cover, and I really wanted to get this on my TBR this month. It's a new book that I have recently hauled, and I'm so excited about it. So I'm picking up The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Clune. I've well pushed my luck here, but there is like a little bus there. Can you see it? So there's a vehicle on the cover. My readathon, my rules. This, I believe, is queer. It's a little bit like the Wayward Children series, but in more mature version of it, if that makes sense. So this is YA, I think, or does it border, I don't know if this is middle grade or YA, but it's more mature themes, I believe. So yeah, we're following Linus Baker, who is a by-the-book caseworker department in charge of magical youth, and he's 40, lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his life's about to change. And he goes to, I'm assuming, the house on the Cerulean Sea, which is run by Arthur, and there are kids there who have powers or something. I don't know, I could be completely wrong with that, let me know if I am, but I'm assuming that that's where this is going, and I'm so here for it, and this cover is gorgeous, and I'm very, very excited. For number 12, it is regarding Dean, and this is to read a book with witches in it. So for this one, obviously I'm going to go for Blood and Honey by Shelby McEwen, which is the second in the Serpent and Dove series. So I'm very excited about this one. That's why I was mentioning Blood and Honey before. But I'm really looking forward to this one. I don't know what happens in it. Got no idea. So I'm looking forward to it. Number 13 is Supernaturalathon, which is to read a graphic novel, and for this one I'm going to do a reread of Pumpkinheads by Faith Erin Hicks and Rainbow Rowell. I read this last year and absolutely loved it, and I think this is just going to be a graphic novel that I reread every year because it's just so freaking cute and the illustrations are adorable. I've picked a page there where like she's super fucking angry with him, but the illustrations are just adorable and I'm so here for it. So it's cute and I'm here for it and I'm excited and I can't wait to reread it. So that's what we're picking up. Number 14 is Lebanon, and that's to read a book featuring family. This can be blood family, found family, whatever kind of family you can think of. So for this one I'm going for Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. This comes out on the 27th of October and I have managed to get my hands on an ARC and I'm buzzing. This is following two sisters. They are twins and they work in the family Sicilian restaurant, and one day Victoria doesn't turn up for work and her sister Amelia is concerned. I keep calling her Victoria, it's Vittoria. Her sister Amelia is concerned, eventually finds Victoria's body and she wants blood. So she ends up finally meeting a man called Wrath, who is the Prince of Hell, and they end up teaming up and trying to seek revenge on the person who killed Victoria, only Wrath may have a hidden agenda. I don't know what it is because I've not read the book yet, but I'm really excited about it and I cannot wait to read this. I'm so hyped. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Obviously my aim is to read this before it comes out on the 27th of October. I am planning on doing a full reading vlog for this, so very excited. Look out for that on the 27th of October. And then the final prompt for Supernaturalathon is Carry On My Wayward Son, to read the next in a series. So for me, I am picking up Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is a buddy read with Siobhan. I was pleasantly surprised by Six of Crows. I absolutely loved it actually. I thought it was fantastic. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a high 4 and I loved it. I liked it a lot better than the Grishaverse trilogy, so I think this duology is going to be my favourite of Leigh Bardugo's work so far, because I just prefer this one so far to the Grishaverse trilogy. Who am I? Actually, I loved Ninth House as well, to be fair. So I love this cast of characters. I'm so excited to continue the series. Looking forward to it. I'm obsessed with these editions too. Amazing. So yeah, very excited about that one. Additional books for the Supernaturalathon, I have The Diviners by Libba Bray, which is our buddy read for the month. I was going to fit this into my actual TBR so that I didn't have 16 books, but it meant that one of the other books was bumped off that I actually really wanted to read. I think I was going to try and fit this in for Supernatural Being, and then I was already reading The Coldest Girl in Cold Town as a buddy read, so it just made more sense for me to put that on the TBR, and this was an addition. You can fit it into your TBR if you want to though. So I'm excited about this one. This will fit the prompts for Supernatural Being, Paranormal Being, and also the prompt for Family, because it is about Evie O'Neill and she goes to live with her Uncle Will. Is it called Uncle Will? Yeah, Uncle Will. And there is a death and she's worried that Uncle Will's going to find out about her powers, but she realises that she can help the police by using her powers to figure out what's been going on with this murder or something. So I'm excited about picking this up. I've heard incredible things about this. It is a chunker, but I'm looking forward to it. And then also I'm going to add on John Winchester's Journal by Alex Irvine, because why the fuck not? I bought this specifically for the readathon, and then I was going to add this on as, well, I was going to do symbol on the cover and say that this could count as a symbol because it actually like symbolises supernatural, because it is the name of the show. And I was also going to use it for the Supernatural Beings as well. and family, because it's got all 3 of them on the front cover. But alas, it's not made it to the TBR, but I want to read it anyway. So I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, because this is literally like, you know, if you've watched the show, you'll know what I mean. But this is John's journal, so the journal that the boys use and reference back to through most of the earlier seasons. It's basically just that, so it's a diary entry essentially, which will be really interesting, but I don't want to put pressure on myself to have to get to the end of this by the end of the month. Like, if I just want to dip in and out of it, that's fine. So it is going on my TBR, but if I don't finish it, it's no big deal. If I don't finish any of these, it's no big deal. What am I talking about? So then for the Ace race, let's go through that, and then I'll talk you through the other additional books I have on my TBR, because we're not done. For the Ace race, you have to, let me show a picture of it here. So essentially the prompts and the rules are as follows. Read books with A-spec protagonists. You can choose 1 book for several prompts as long as the prompts are in different categories. So the categories are representation, aromantic, demi/grey sexual, bi/pan romantic / bi/pan asexual. Does that make sense? So that's one category. The second category is genre, so sci-fi, middle grade or YA contemporary. And then the third category is voices, trans or non-binary, black author or disabled author. So you might have an aromantic character that's in a sci-fi by a trans author, and that will totally count. And it's 1 book, but you've covered 3 prompts. But you can't have an aromantic and a demisexual character in a sci-fi and that count for 3 prompts. It only counts for 2. Does that make sense? So I will go through, I think I've managed to hit all of the prompts. I'm fairly certain I have, but let's go through the books that I'm planning on reading. So the first book on my TBR is, I'm just looking at my computer. The first book on my TBR is That Kind of Guy by Talia Hibbert. I have taken this off of the people that are running the readathon have put together a Google document where there are some book recommendations in there, and That Kind of Guy by Talia Hibbert has come up as demisexual and also a disabled author, which I did not know about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. I have double checked as well, because this is the 3rd in a series, I believe, and I have double checked, and you don't need to read these in order. There is just a little bit of crossover with some of the characters, but it's not a major thing. So I'm looking forward to picking that one up. I love Talia Hibbert's writing style. She's a new author for me this year, so I love her. She's a new favourite author for me this year. So yeah, looking forward to picking that up. Then I am picking up Vicious by Ve Schwab. I believe that this has an ace character in it. I think Victoria has announced that one of the characters in here is actually ace. So I'm looking forward to picking this one up. I've already mentioned that this is going to be on my Supernaturalathon TBR, so I'm looking forward to that one. I have next Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which has a bi character in it. I've already mentioned Jesper, and also it does have disabled rep. I know you need to be picking disabled authors, but it's got disabled rep with Kaz Brecker and also with the PTSD and some other mental health rep in here as well. So looking forward to picking this one up. Then I have George and Rick by Gino. These are 2 separate books, but I'm going to read them both anyway, because I think Rick is a character from George's book. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Rick is a character from George's book. Gino is a trans author, and in Rick there is aero rep, and also both of these are middle grade. So I'm going to read them both. I'm not sure what the rep is in George. I can't remember now, because I haven't read it and I've not read the blurb for it for a while. So but I'm planning on picking up both of these, and I'm really looking forward to them. I believe they're very, very good indeed. Then I'm going to pick up Goddess of the Hunt. I've already covered Aero Rep with George, and well, I've already covered Aero Rep with Rick, but I really want to pick Goddess of the Hunt up because it's poetry and it looks really good and the cover's gorgeous. So I really want to pick that up. I'm going to try for that one as well. Then I've got A Phoenix First Must Burn. I don't know why I picked that up that way. Phoenix First Must Burn, which is edited by Patrice Caldwell. I've just mentioned this one. It is sci-fi. It has got gender non-conforming individuals in it, and all of the authors are black. So we're covering 3 different prompts there as well, which I'm looking forward to. And then also I've got Let's Talk About Love by Claire Can. I've had this on my TBR for a while. This will cover the YA prompt, and also the main character is bisexual. So I'm here for it. Very excited about all of those. And then, because that's not the end of my stupid TBR, I have a couple buddy reads. So I'm also buddy reading Elantris with Catherine and Anna on the 5th. We're starting on the 5th of October and I'm looking forward to this one. I'm a bit nervous. It's a chunker. This is a Brandon Sanderson book, and I believe that if you read the books in order from the Cosme, read like from the Cosme realm, this is the first book. So we're picking this up and I'm nervous about it. It's chunky as frick. But I'm excited. I'm glad I'm reading it with Catherine and Anna, and I'm looking forward to picking this one up. Very excited about that one. And then I'm also buddy reading Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare with my friend Tilly at the end of the month. We were meant to be buddy reading this in September, but Tilly underwent some very major surgery in August, or was it July now? I can't remember when it was. It was either the beginning of August or the end of July, and her recovery has taken a lot longer than she thought it would. So we pushed this back and we're now picking this up in the month of October, towards the very end of October. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. And then I also want to read, just because I want to, you know, I've got all 3 of them, so I might as well read all 3 of them. I'm going to be picking up the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendricks. So I'm looking forward to this one. This is following a book club that is run by Patricia Campbell, and she they basically discuss vampires and things, but it turns out that one of the people in the book club is a vampire. I don't know where it's going, but I'm excited. And then just 2 books I want to make a mention to. I don't know if I'm going to get to these, but if I do, well, hey. If I don't, it's fine. It's no big deal. My friend Suzanne runs a book club with my other friend Georgie called The Bookish Queens, and for the month of October they have 2 picks. So they've got Winterwood by Shea Earnshaw and also Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. I have read Undead Girl Gang before, and I was planning on putting this on my TBR for reread, but I picked something else instead. So if I get to both of these, yay. If I don't, it's no bother. I've read Undead Girl Gang before, so if I do get to either one of these over the other, it will probably be Winterwood, because I have very recently just read The Wicked Deep and really enjoyed Shea's writing style, so I will probably pick this up. Also, this is on my autumn TBR, so we'll see. But yeah, those 2 as well, possibly. And then I don't know what the middle grade monthly book pick is for the month of October yet. I'm not sure, but maybe I will get a chance to pick that up if I own it. And yeah, and maybe Horror-a-thon at the end of the month. So that's a lot of books. This was a really long TBR. I hope it's not too long once I've edited it. We'll see. But I am very excited. Can I pick these books up? The answer's probably no. Alas, here we are. So this, plus a couple others, is my October TBR. Oh good lord, it's fucking heavy, guys. I wouldn't mind, but I was struggling last night really bad with my back. I don't know what I've done. I think I've been sat funny while I've been reading. I was really struggling and it was killing me last night in bed, so probably shouldn't have done that because I probably pulled my back again. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you are taking part in Supernaturalathon and you do a TBR video, or you have a blog post with your TBR, or you do an Instagram post with your TBR, let me know in the comments down below because I want to see them. And also make sure, if you do follow me on Twitter and you post anything on Twitter or on Instagram, tag me in it. Also use the hashtag Supernaturalathon20, and I will make sure that I'm checking the hashtag daily and liking posts and stuff. And yeah, I hope you come and join us. Please do check out the information in the description box down below if you want to find out more and you want to get involved. I really hope you come and join us. I'm so excited. It looks like we've got a really good group as well. Everyone's very excited for the 24 and 48 hour readathon. I need to pick a weekend for that, but I'm really hyped. I'm so excited. So I hope you come and join us on the hunt, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.